Alright, today I'm gonna convert a couple of Gesneriads. This one is a Sinningia speciosa I grew from seeds. And then this is a Primulina lieboensis. I'm not sure how to say that one. We're gonna convert them to semi-hydroponic in expanded clay aggregate. So the first one, we'll just take it out of here. You have to remove all of the soilless mix, or that's the best route to go. This one was in much need of repotting, so I gotta remove a few of the dried up leaves and try to get as much of the mix off of here as I can. We're gonna try to get almost all of it off. We'll probably lose some roots in the process. If you leave some of it on there, it can be more of a chance for rot. There's little flowers that tried to form. If you can, remove most of the flowers so that it puts energy into the plant. I'm gonna remove any of these outer damaged leaves. That one too. And this one. And we'll remove this one too. It's gonna go through a period where it has to regrow roots and it might look pouty for a while after you convert it, but all of a sudden one day it'll start looking better. So I got most of it off of there. Now I'm gonna go over to the sink and we're gonna try to wash the rest off. Move that out of the way. I have a little strainer in there so that I don't get any of the big chunks of perlite or anything down into my drain. I'm gonna try to get as much as possible out of there. It'll grow new roots once it's in the LECA, so it's okay if you lose most of the roots. Alright. Wash it off while I'm at it. Looks like I pretty much got it all washed out of there. Oh, there's a little piece of perlite still stuck in there, but I think I got it all. Alright, I'm going to put the plant down and then we'll get the clay LECA balls ready for planting. So usually I would take these outside and rinse them off in the hose. I just have my bucket here catching anything excess. They're pretty dusty when you take them out of the bag. At the end I'll show you what kind of LECA balls that I like the best. So I think they're good enough. I'm capturing all the water in here so that it doesn't go down my drain and I can dump it outside later. Those are good. Bring the plant back over here. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use this pot. It's a self-watering pot. I'm going to put some yarn that I've had soaking in some water and some ivory dish soap through the holes instead of the cotton cord that comes with these pots. The cotton will break down and the yarn should last longer. It's acrylic red heart yarn, so about that far that'll touch the bottom of the pot when this is in there. And I'll even put another one on the other side since this is a pretty big pot and I want to make sure that the LECA stays wet. So let me Maybe I can put it through the bottom. There we go. Now to try to hold both of these up and put the clay in there is a little bit hard. Put some in there, kind of lay them on top. And put a little more, kind of cover them up. Now I'll grab the plant. All right, got those roots. We want to have a little bit of the LECA above where the roots start. I know it will grow down into there, but just for the beginning, we're going to try to put the roots above the bottom of it. So I'll try to just kind of push them around in there. Just like with planting in a soilless mix or in a potting soil, you want to make sure that this crown area stays above the bottom of your LECA balls or the top of your LECA balls. Otherwise you can get crown rot. So as I fill this up, I'll try to keep that above there. Kind of try to make it stay in the middle at the same time. I already wick water my plants, so I use the same fertilizer that I use for my African violets and for any of my Gesneriads. When I grow these, I use 1/4 teaspoon of Dynagrow foliage or Dynagrow grow, kind of switch between the two sometimes, and to a gallon of water. I use that in the bottom. Might be a little unstable at first until those roots get established. So I'll try to make it go as good as I can. If I have to put a toothpick or something, I can do that as well. So we'll put the pot underneath. Try to get it a little bit more stable. All right, I think that's probably good enough. And then I can water it. And you want to water, it can water all the way up to the bottom of that mesh pot or the net pot like thing that's inside of there. It can touch the bottom since we didn't put the roots all the way down to the bottom. Once they get established, I try to just put like 1 inch of water in the bottom. You can go all the way up to the bottom of there though, that'll be okay. So in a few weeks, it should be happy and doing well in the new home. This one is a Primulina again. The next one we're gonna do is this Sinningia speciosa. In the transition, it'd be best to remove the flowers so that it can take energy and create new roots instead of flowers. So I've sterilized the scissors with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to cut off the flower and cut off this one over here. Take this out of the pot. This was seeds that I bought from someone. It was Love Rocks Jerry crossed with itself, crossed with some other Sinningia speciosas. So this one's going to be a little bit harder because it was a tiny pot and it got pretty root bound. We'll try to get as much off of there as we can. It has a tuber because it's a Sinningia speciosa. We don't want to break it off from the tuber. We could just cut it off and let it regrow. All right, we're going to go to the sink and try to rinse more of this off. It's pretty stuck on there. Kind of massaging the roots a little bit, trying to get the perlite and the peat moss out of there as best I can. before you put it back under lights, you'll want to make sure to dry off the leaves. You can put it in front of the fan for a little bit, or just kind of let it sit out of the light for a day or a few hours. It's okay if a little bit of perlite stays in there, because the perlite doesn't break down like the peat moss does. The peat moss gets more acidic as it breaks down, and that will it will cause it to also stay more wet and maybe cause it to rot. So try to get most of it off of there. I'm just using kind of slightly warm water. I'm doing this. I think this one is probably good enough. It looks like there might be a little bit still in there, but I think it will be okay. All right, I'll go get the pot. For this one, I'm going to use this type of self-watering pot. It again comes with the cotton cording, and I'm going to use my acrylic yarn instead. I'm just going to try to get it down through the holes. And I'm going to put one in each of the big holes that's in there. And try to hold it up again like I did the other one. Alright, now we can lay it on top so that it gets as much wet as we can. For Sinningia speciosa, it's best if you try to leave the very top of the tuber exposed. You can put it under, but I think it will work better like this. I've only tried converting one other Sinningia speciosa, and so far, so good, but we'll see as it continues to grow. I've had African violets and straps growing in the expanded clay for over a year, and they're doing great. You just have to rinse through the top every once in a while when there gets to be kind of a salt buildup on the top. But otherwise, it's pretty easy going. All right, same with this one. We couldn't fill it up. There's a hole in here, so you can fill it up from the outside, or we can just fill it up an inch or so. That yarn is already wet, so it'll start wicking right away. I've kind of left the top part of the tuber exposed. Could be even a little bit higher, but I think it will grow good. Here are a few of the plants that I have converted into using the light expanded clay aggregate. Here is Tamiana. It needs to be repotted and lowered, but it's doing good. Just got done blooming. It's gonna bloom some more. This one is Jen's Drops of Jupiter. It grows in natural light, so part of it needed to be rotated. When it gets rotated, it will probably shape up better. This one is called Primulina Loki. It's been in the LECA for quite a while. The top of the LECA gets that little white crusty stuff on it. After a while, you just go to the sink and rinse it through. This pot has the LECA all the way down to here. You can see the roots are growing out of it into the water that's in the bottom. So I think these have all been in here for over a year. They grow in natural light and are doing really well. So this is the LECA that I've had good luck with. Comes in this big bag, so it lasts quite a while. I am also trying this here one. This one I think is used for like lizards and stuff like that in terrariums. It's much smaller. I have only tried one plant in it so far, and so far so good. So here's the difference in size.